Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Games and Things. They are the home theater seating headquarters for all of East Tennessee. And I say that as someone who has bought home theater seats at Games and Things. In August, I had a set that had just worn out after about 15 years. I went to their showroom and must have spent an hour just putting my rump in 20 different seats out there. I mean, it's just the choices they have. Okay, this one feels good. This one's the right color. I like that. This does this. This has a button that massages your back. This does that. It's unbelievable. Games and Things. Get out there. Check out all the styles of chairs, all the kinds of colors they got. Check out their showroom, as I did. Games and Things, ourgameroom.com. All right, guys, I'm going to give everybody here, we get to play coach. And I know I'm going to get tweets from people. It's like, well, you guys know. I don't know, about the same as the fans who are on Twitter doing the same thing. So, I mean, if you're sitting there going, I would do this, what do you know? Not as much as you. So the question is, if you could give a little piece of advice, even bad advice, to Jeremy Pruitt, what's your advice at this point? I'll give you a minute to throw out a little something. Could be scheme, could be a big picture, could be recruiting. What do you do? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
You're looking at me.
One, never say you're 100 times better at it. But moving on from that, I would, and he did it more last year, but the criticism he leveled at his players, we're not good enough, I've got to get new people in here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He hinted at some of that more than just came out and said it this year. I think one of them was we got our guys don't play like winners.
We don't have guys who can.
They don't
play
have five-star hearts.
Yeah,
no, that was somebody else.
Can't play winning
anyway. I think he needs to back off of that because I think it's really hard when you hear that. Well, coach doesn't think I'm any good. Now I want you to go out there and whip Alabama so you don't think I'm any good. I've heard it several times. That would be a change I would make if I was him. I'd keep that kind of criticism of my players more internal.
If I did a talk show to talk about this show every week, and I went on it and said, I'm really happy with the show. It's going well. Once I get my guys in there, once we get some better guys, you guys going to keep coming back? Probably. Well, Chuck would.
I would.
Nobody else. The rest of you have too much pride. All right. Who's got advice for Jeremy Pruitt?
You talk to people around the program. One word keeps coming up. 5 syllables. Micromanager. Comes up a lot. I've covered a lot of first-time coaches. Some of them can't help themselves, but the best coaches hire good coaches and just let them coach. Stay out of it, let them do their jobs, and you focus on the big picture things. That has been a struggle for Jeremy Pruitt. It was last year, and I know, knowing Jeremy Pruitt's personality, they're sitting at 1-3, a lot's going wrong. He's going to want to get the reins really tight, and he has to resist that urge, or else this season is going to get worse.
All right.
Go ahead, Josh.
Or Josh, whoever.
Well, I'll play off that.
Chuck's the producer.
Because, as I've said, with the offense, you have a number of issues that need to get figured out. You've got to eliminate penalties. You've got to take care of the football. But I think we all agree quarterback play has to be better. So I would say to Jeremy Pruitt, tell Jim Chaney quarterback position is yours to fix. Chris Winke's still involved there, don't get me wrong. But Jim Chaney's the guy that you hired, that the university committed more than $5 million to come in and run this offense. He's helped quarterbacks in the past, including at Tennessee with Jonathan Crompton. So I would say, Jim Chaney, if this season is going to be salvaged, if we're going to have success, they can still win some games in the SEC and get to a bowl game. We've got to figure out the quarterback position. Jim Chaney, fix it for us.
Just one of the things I'd like to point out is when they hired Jim Chaney, and I threw my arms up in joy, that's a great hire, it's a brilliant hire, I said I would prefer it if he were quarterback coach and not the walk-around guy, and I still feel that way. No knock on Winke because I don't know what's going on. I just know Chaney's track record, and I would apply it. Chuck, what's your?
Well, I think my thing is Jeremy Pruitt keeps talking about how things have been simplified, and yet it does not seem to be that is being communicated. That would be my advice, was to have a chance to turn this thing around. You have to get everybody on the same page. You got to figure out, get past these where to line up issues. Are you trying to coach young players to play multiple positions, and then they get in a game and there's a freak out factor about, what am I supposed to do here? I'm going to try and really and truly simplify things, and just like you guys have said, the offense has got to get it in gear, or this thing's going to go into tank big time. Go back and look at how many touchdowns you've scored. You've not been doing enough offensively. You've got to get that part straightened out, and that's not his forte.
Against FBS opponents in non-clock, you have 4 touchdown drives out of 32.
Yes.
So, my advice, I'm going to do this very quickly. We even got a graphic for it. 1, roll the quarterback out and cut his reads in half. Just say, look, you got a deep read, you got a medium read, intermediate read, you got a short read, or run. So don't have him trying to read the whole field, too. Feed Chandler and Gray. As I said before, they're not getting a lot of touches per game. You could give them more touches if they're your best guys. I know your offensive line isn't run blocking well, but I would continue to feed those guys. And finally, I would just sit in deep cover 3 and force teams to go 80 yards and pray they make a mistake. I would just sit over the top deep, prevent, which they didn't do against
And
BYU.
Ted Priest said
All
that
right.
defense is what Tennessee ran, 68 and 69.
All right, when we come back, it's the final word. We'll see what the final word on UT's 2019 record will be at this point. We'll discuss that, our view. Come on back next. Something.